Did you know the law of entropy states that no is the default and yes is the miracle? This means that love can only operate under specific conditions. If we were to look at an automobile, if just one component in that automobile, such as a tire, had malfunctioned, then the entire system would not operate. When you try to brute force something into existence, such as love, the universe or the system is going to reject your advances. This rejection is feedback. It is telling you that the system is not operating. It is telling you that something is missing or broken. If you were to brute force a car to move from A to B, if one major component was not working properly, you're going to be in for one hell of a ride. Much is the same for love. This means to understand what the hell love is, the definition of love, what it means to one person as opposed to another person, how love actually operates and how it responds to different laws of the universe. And so you can be sure if you have been rejected in the past, it is because there is a malfunction in the system. If we assume the form of radical accountability, then we can be sure that the fault is with us and not the other party, which you may have been likely to assume in the past. By blaming and projecting the other party as responsible for the downfall of a relationship, as being responsible for your emotional suffering, this puts you in a victim position. Whereas if you were to look at yourself as being the cause of the problem, then you have tremendous power to regain footing, to modify the system, to actually even control the system. The thing about systems is that they are actually very specific. There is some type of perfection in the system that must play about. Some systems more so than others. When it comes to planting and growing flowers, then there is vitamin D or sunlight that is necessary. There is soil and nutrients and vitamins and minerals for the plant to grow. There is regeneration. There is water being a crucial component. In an automobile, it is having oil in the engine so that the metal parts don't seize together and melt. Something very important I learned today is in the story of Jesus walking on water during the storm. And in this storm, we can look at that story as a physical truth, right? But we can also look at this as a emotional and psychological play as well. Jesus was so calm when he was walking through that storm. When you are this calm in the storm itself is going to calm itself around you because you yourself are calm. You yourself want to be calm around the storm. You yourself want to be calm in that storm. If you were like the apostle reaching out for Jesus, having some faith, and you were able to walk on water and reach out for Jesus, but then you become scared of the storm is going to cave in on you and you are going to succumb to it and you are going to drown in the storm. But if you are calm, like Jesus walking on water in the storm has no effect on you. You are Dalai Lama, man. You want to be like Jesus in the storm. The storm should have no effect on you. And we're going to say this in a very emotional and psychological manner. Emotionally, if there is storm and chaos, you want to be calm, you want to be impartial. If there is a storm, thunder, lightning, waves, you want to be still and graceful and calm and at peace. If your enemy is throwing a storm, give them bread, give them something to drink. And by being calm, you essentially destroy that storm. Your enemy feels like lava has been poured on their head. Not because you're returning fire with fire or you're returning storm with storm, but rather because if lava is being poured on your head or if there's a storm surrounding you, that it doesn't affect you. You become one with the storm in the sense that the storm succumbs under you. You handle rejection with grace. You handle absence with grace. You handle betrayal with grace, with forgiveness. Forgive yourself for your own errors. Forgive the other party for their errors. Forgiveness makes you powerful. Forgiveness causes you to let go of the rope that's been burning your hand. If you were to send a text to your own romantic interest and let them know how they make you feel, rather than backtracking on that and wondering if you did the right thing by sending that text, sit with the storm. Let the storm be. The storm has no effect on you. If they return your grace with chaos, the chaos means nothing to you. It's natural to let the storm continue being a storm until it eventually subdues. Over time, when you are actually in a relationship, things will go south hill, things will go downhill, and the reason of this is because of entropy. Entropy will always guarantee that the downfall of the relationship is guaranteed, because a relationship and the giving and the receiving of love is nothing short of a miracle. Entropy wants nothing less than to destroy that creation. And so the only literal way to maintain that or to grow that is to keep being someone who does this. What do I mean by this? If you go to the gym and if you work out for one session, are you strong? Are you muscular in that moment after doing that exercise? No, not necessarily. Well, what about the next day and the next day and the next day? Are you strong after these few days of working out? At what point do you become strong, if not years away? What makes you strong is not necessarily you doing the thing. What makes you strong is that you keep doing the thing. In order to be strong, you have to keep being strong. Sometimes growing does mean taking a step back, and then 2 steps forward, and then another step back, and then 2 steps forward. Growing isn't this fixed linear line, because that could be very rigid and breakable and fragile. To continue the growth of the relationship means to continue growing yourself and your own capacity and your own competence, working on specific processes and systems and asking yourself very specific questions that are very multi-layered deep, inviting the other party to grow with you instead of against you, changing your own paradigms, changing your own interpretations, removing your misunderstanding of the other party and changing your understanding of where they're really coming from. It's not about trying to repeat the honeymoon phase and looking to try baking some cakes together, trying some new sex positions, spicing things up when things are getting stale. It's about understanding the other party and yourself on a very deep psychological and emotional level. Very similar to digging for treasure. You find nuggets about the other party that you didn't know that were there. We don't brush them off as a surface level human entity. We see them as complex with a web of different ideas. We look at their void and we let them heal it themselves. We don't be Captain Save-A-Ho and try and rescue the princess, or vice versa. We don't love another person just because we have to, or because we think we're obligated to, or because love is supposed to be unconditional. We give love because we choose to. We give love because we have the capacity and the competence to. We receive love because we let it come to us and we allow it to flow towards us. To love and to be loved means to keep loving and to keep being loved. If you ask yourself, when will I be loved? Do you really love yourself? If it feels like the world is against you, it is because your mind and the world are one. So you want your mind on your side.